Hashem sends down to this world a neshama that is so sweet and pure that anything that may be said about that person at their levaya will not be nearly enough to, or do them justice. My brother-in-law, Reb Yaakov Ben Rav Avram, wife of my dear sister Hesped, husband, and father of David, both of them, they should live till 120, was the prime example of such an individual. Where does one start to speak about this remarkable person whose life spanned 10 decades on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean? And every minute of it was a Torah-dika life, an Emes-dika life, and a Yashvus-dika life. We know the Torah says, V'yish Moshe v'yonav me'od mikol adam. The world asks a very famous question. How could he be such an onav? He was the leader of Klal Yisrael, spoke ponim ol ponim to the Ribono Shel Olam. How does a man who's accomplished so much still remain an onav? There are all kinds of answers given on this. Personally, I have never been able to understand the apparent conflict until I met my brother-in-law, Reb Yankel. I attempted many times to call him by his well-deserving, glorified titles, but he insisted on just plain Yankel. He was not just plain Yankel. Reb Yankel was a person who accomplished so much in his life. He was one of the few individuals who was at the first Siyum HaShas in America and by the last one. He was a person who met and spoke in learning with numerous Gedolei Hador, both pre-war Europe and post-war in Israel and in America. And yet, he was the most humblest person I ever met. He never insulted anyone and never retaliated if anybody would slight him in any way. When we say in davening, Titein Emes LeYaakov, it is such a Yaakov we're talking about. A Yaakov who could not get a word out of his mouth that wasn't 100% true. To him, there was no such thing as a little white lie. I remember many times when we were at a simcha and I would speak and maybe say a Dvar Torah. He would maybe months or years later call me and ask me to tell it to him once again because he was speaking at an occasion and he wanted to hear it again. Because he wanted to repeat it. I remember chuckling and telling him, you don't need my Dvar Torah, you know more Torah than I'll ever know. And he would very sheepishly reply, but I like your word. There's no question in my mind that his MO was to make me feel good and to have an opportunity where he could repeat something b'shem omro. Because the truth is, I can count on one hand the amount of times that I related anything to him, a vart, any Dvar Torah that he didn't already know. But out of his sensitivity, he would not make me feel bad and would still let me finish. But he didn't fool me. I could tell by his inviting eyes and loving smile that he was just being kind. Recently, he told me a story where as a yeshiva bacher in Eretz Yisrael, he violated, there was a curfew going on, it was a dangerous time, and he violated the curfew. And together with one or two other bacherim, hitchhiked to Bnei Barak, I think it was, to see the Chazon Ish. I asked him, how could you take such a chance? You could have been arrested and thrown to jail and everything. He looked at me and said, what chance are you talking? What chance did I take? You think something's going to happen to anyone who's going to see the Chazon Ish? He had such a reverence for the tzaddikim and Gedolei Hador that it eliminated any of his fears. This love was just a byproduct of his Ahavas Hashem and all that Hashem bestowed on him. Reb Yankel went through many, many rough periods in his life, but his smile never disappeared, always trusting in Hashem that things would work out. And this love did not end with the Gedolim. He was a true Oiv Abrios and Mechabed Abrios. He was Mekabel everyone with Sever Panim Yofos, honored everyone regardless of their status. It is no wonder that I never heard or met a person that didn't absolutely love him. Such a rarity. Of course, the two people he loved more than anyone was his Ben Yochid, David, and his Eishes Chayil, my sister Esther. David, may Hashem give you the strength to overcome this great loss. Be comforted that your daddy, as you would call him, was the best daddy, and that together with my sister, both of you till 120, cared and cares for you very, very much. I am sure Hashem gave your father, Arichas Yonam, that some of his chutzim came from you for being Mekayim Kibbud Av to such an extreme. And I am sure, and we daven, Hashem should also give you long and healthy years. To my sister, Esther, as we call her, Yankel was a shining star in your life, as he was to everyone's life. He only wanted the best for you and always tried to make you good and valued. Do you really think he couldn't finish the crossword puzzles by himself? His knowledge, both in Divrei Kodesh and secular, was only outdone by his humility. You were an amazing wife to him. There's no doubt in everyone's mind that you superhumanly, single-handedly extended his life with your true love and care. He never wanted to inconvenience anyone, always resisted asking anyone for a favor. But when he did, his Hakaras HaTov was off the charts. Look how even in his death, he minimized the time you would need to be sitting Shiva and the Shloshim during these holy days. I regret not coming to Florida more often to visit him, because when I did, I really felt that I was in the presence of a tzaddik. To sit next to him in shul and hear him whisper the words to himself was truly inspiring and very special to me. I would watch him in shul, giving everyone a real shalom aleichem and inquiring of everyone's family. I don't think there was a single occasion that I phoned him that he didn't begin by asking about my wife and children, especially Shira. At this point, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Shaher Shin Yehudis, who made their home his second home, and afforded him the opportunity to spend wonderful Shabbosim and Yom Tovim with his loved ones. There are many others who were so kind to him, but to mention them would do a disservice to those that I would omit. Just know that Esther and all appreciated, but more so, Yankel appreciated. I personally want to ask Mechila on my behalf and on everyone else's behalf for allowing you to talk us into not affording you more covet. May Hashem take all your schusim to merit us all Ksivach Simatova. And as you will now be the guest of honor at the Kisei HaKavod, please be made a chosher for the whole family, for your loving son David, for your amazing wife Esther, and for all of Klal Yisrael.